What if we've been looking at one of our biggest health challenges all wrong? Today, we're going to dive into a pretty radical and honestly hopeful new way to think about reversing cognitive decline.
To really get why this is so important, we have to start right here. Alzheimer's disease is the fifth leading cause of death for Americans over 65. And look, that's not just some statistic. That's a reality that touches millions of families, and it's exactly why we need to talk about this.
And this leads us to the big, nagging question, right? After decades of research, billions of dollars poured in, why do we still not have a truly effective, sustainable treatment?
So here's our roadmap for today. First, we're going to unpack just how complex the Alzheimer's puzzle really is and why that whole search for a magic bullet pill has kind of fallen short. Then, we'll completely shift gears to a new way of thinking, break down 7 core strategies that come from it, and see what this all could mean for the future.
All right, first up, the Alzheimer's puzzle. And honestly, puzzle is the perfect word for it.
So here's what's so fascinating. We tend to think of Alzheimer's as just one thing, but it's not. It's a slow-burn, progressive disease with a really long fuse. It can be developing for years before any symptoms show up. And here's the kicker. It's not caused by one single thing. It's more like a perfect storm, a combination of multiple issues all hitting at once. Things like chronic inflammation, toxins from our environment, metabolic problems like insulin resistance, even issues with blood flow. This complexity, it's absolutely key to understanding everything else.
And that complexity, well, it helps explain why the traditional approach, searching for that one single magic bullet pill, has been so incredibly challenging. I mean, just look at this to-do list for a hypothetical perfect drug. It would have to be this unbelievable multitasker. It would need to boost brain repair and waste clearance, while at the same time shutting down inflammation, oxidative damage, and that famous amyloid beta buildup we always hear about. That's a colossal ask for one single molecule.
And the results? Well, they really speak for themselves. More than 200 promising drug candidates have failed in clinical trials over the last decade alone. 200. So the pattern here suggests something huge. Maybe this single target approach is just fundamentally the wrong tool for such a complicated job.
So this is where everything changes. This is where the research takes a hard pivot and leads us to a powerful new way of thinking about the problem itself.
I love this analogy from the source material. Think of your brain health like a house. Alzheimer's isn't just one little crack in the wall that you can spackle over. It's a sign that the entire foundation is failing. And you know what? If the whole foundation is crumbling, patching one crack isn't going to save the house.
Now, the scientific term for this is complex network insufficiency. It sounds a little technical, but the idea is actually pretty simple. It just means we're not looking at one single broken part. We're looking at the whole interconnected network of systems that keeps our brains healthy starting to fail. And when a whole network is failing, you don't need a single patch. You need network-wide support.
And that realization leads us straight to the proposed solution. Not a single pill, but a comprehensive program built on 7 core strategies.
This image just nails the new goal. Instead of attacking one symptom with one drug, the whole idea is to create an environment that supports the brain's own incredible ability to adapt, reorganize, and even repair itself. It's a process called neuroplasticity. We're not trying to fix the brain, we're trying to help the brain heal itself.
So, how do we build this supportive system? The whole program rests on these 7 interconnected pillars. And the key is that they are interconnected. It's not about just doing one thing, it's about building a solid foundation using all of them. Targeted nutrition, the right kind of exercise, optimizing sleep, managing stress, stimulating the brain, actively detoxifying, and using smart supplements to fill in any gaps. Okay, so that all sounds great in theory, right? But let's make it concrete. What does putting these 7 pillars into practice actually look like?
Let's take the nutrition pillar. The program suggests a really specific protocol called KetoFLEX 12/3. Now, this is a plant-rich, ketogenic-style diet, but it's also about when you eat. It includes at least a 12-hour fast every single day, with the last meal being at least 3 hours before bed. This one strategy does 3 critical things at once. It gives the brain an efficient fuel source, it improves insulin sensitivity, and it helps lower inflammation.
Okay, pillar number 6, detoxification. And this isn't some vague concept. It's about systematically identifying and reducing the body's toxic load. The researchers even have a name for these things: dementogens. We're talking about heavy metals, certain chemicals, and even biotoxins from things like mold, all of which can act like roadblocks to healthy brain function.
And this is where the real synergy kicks in. Just think about it for a second. Exercise boosts this critical growth factor called BDNF. It's like fertilizer for your brain cells. Then, while you're getting deep sleep, your brain's cleaning crew gets to work, clearing out metabolic waste. And at the same time, stimulating your brain is literally building new connections. See? Each pillar supports the others. They're all working together as a team to rebuild that failing foundation.
So where does all this leave us? What could this massive shift in thinking mean for the future? A future where maybe we don't just treat cognitive decline, but we actually prevent it from happening in the first place. You know, the researchers from our source paper sum it up perfectly. They say that for a complex disease like Alzheimer's, a program that targets multiple factors all at the same time, well, it may just be way more effective than the old approach of searching for one single therapy.
And this really leads us to the final thought for today. What if the future of treating our most complex chronic diseases isn't found in a pill bottle at all, but in a personalized plan that rebuilds the very foundation of our health from the ground up?